Nigeria's economy is heavily dependent on oil. Oil and gas exports account for around 80% of government revenues and over 90% of foreign exchange earnings. Nigeria remains the largest oil producer in Africa. Nigeria's oil export commenced in 1958 with a production rate of 5,100 barrels of crude oil per day. The production rose to 2 million barrels per day in 1972. Export revenue grew from 1% to 75% respectively. In 1972, Nigeria attained the status of major oil producer, ranking 7th in the world. Nigeria produces between 2.1 million and 2.3 million barrels of oil per day, compared with 11.2 million barrels for Saudi Arabia. Nigerian oil output averaged 2.14 million barrels per day in the fourth quarter of 2012. The United States accounts for 33% of Nigeria's oil exports, and the UK 3%. Nigeria consumes around 25 million litres of fuel per day. It estimates that demand and consumption of petroleum grows at a rate of 12.8% annually. Underutilization of refineries has resulted in shortage of refined product and an increase in imports to meet domestic demand. Oil theft is estimated to cost the nation over $5 billion in lost revenue annually. The stolen oil is exported to some West African nations and countries as far away as Ukraine, Bulgaria, and Singapore. According to the UNDP, more than 6,800 spills were recorded between 1976 and 2001. In 2009, Royal Dutch Shell plc spilled nearly 14,000 tons of crude oil into the creeks of the Niger Delta. The World Bank estimates that Shell flares approximately 39 million tons of carbon dioxide gas and 13 million tons of methane gas into the atmosphere. Gas flaring has resulted in 49 premature deaths, 5,000 respiratory illnesses, 120,000 asthma attacks, and 8 additional causes of cancer. Nigeria flares about 1.5 billion cubic feet per day of gas, enough to generate electricity to power about 5 million homes for a day, or serve the state of New York's daily residential gas demand. Nigeria has an estimated proven reserve of 32 billion barrels, enough for 37 years at the current rate of production. Overdependence on oil revenue has resulted in major problems for the Nigerian economy. Climate change, unemployment, health hazards, looting, poverty, violence. An estimated £220 billion has been squandered, stolen, or wasted by government officials between independence and now. What is the solution, and do we need to look beyond oil?